If you want to become rich, watch till end.
Here with Tom Cruise.
Hi, man. It's nice to see you.
You've been a top actor for decades. What's been the biggest driving factor of your success throughout your career?
I don't know what separates me necessarily. I think everyone has their own things that they're interested in, and it's passion. And finding something, that you're passionate about, that it's not what I do, it is who I am. And so those things that I encourage that in others, and I'm always asking people, what is your passion and why don't you pursue that? And it's my passion to make films, my interest in humanity, my interest in life and how it works, my interest in knowledge and knowledge that I can apply to attain the goals that I have set for myself and that of my filmmakers together. And just very passionate about learning, very passionate about storytelling.
You've become obsessed with all aspects of film and movies. How important was it for you to become obsessed?
It's not obsessed, it's interested. Obsession can have a negative connotation. It's an interest. As I said, you look at the amount of industries that it takes and encompasses all of life in terms of working with groups, working with individuals as a producer, as an actor. So it is a passion. It's something that just interests me. So I enjoy learning about it. I enjoy watching films in the theater. I enjoy the crews that I work with and being directed here, with Christopher McQuarrie. And so I love what I do, and I feel very privileged to be able to do something that I love to do and have audiences accept me and want to be entertained by me.
When you look at a lot of people, the number one reason I see that they fail is because they don't believe in themselves. But when you look at your career, you've done every death-defying stunt imaginable. What was your perspective on fear and taking risks? Do you not fear anything?
No, it's not a matter. I don't mind being afraid. I know fear is the unknown, and I enjoy feeling that because it also puts me in a position of I want to know. And the way that I approach it is just, as I said, I look for knowledge that I can apply. And when it's applied, you get the correct results. So that's what I'm looking for in terms of everything in my life. And I'm someone who, if it's not true for me, it's not true for me. If something isn't real for me, no matter what, I have to know and experience it and understand it for myself. And when I do that, the fear goes away, the adrenaline is still there, the excitement, the adventure. I want an adventurous life. Even when I was a little kid before movies, when I had any job, I always wanted to understand how to do that job and then do it at the very highest level that I possibly can. I enjoy going for that level of perfection.
And your last message to the younger generation?
Man, that was it.
Yeah.
You go. Look for knowledge that you can apply to your lives, because there's so much information out there. That doesn't mean that it's accurate. I'm someone who says when I hear it can't be done, I'm like, I don't know, maybe, how many times do you think the people weren't like, oh, you could do this? So it's how to accumulate knowledge that is applicable towards your goals. And don't be so afraid to be afraid or nervous. The important thing is to keep pursuing your dreams and finding accurate things that are going to add to your life and to others. The way that I look at life, I don't live it for myself. I really know that to live my life, I'm thinking of others. And to lead is to serve. Not to tell people what to do, but to help them to be better. So I'd focus on that in terms of yourself personally, but also others, how you can contribute to your friends, to your family, to your workplace in a very positive way. Those things are, I look to improve every area that I'm in. And not just myself, I'm looking at my decisions based on what are the ramifications and the effects of others. So I think we have to think of that when we're part of the group. So that's kind of what I do.
You got amazing advice, my friend. Thank you.
What's going on, Tony? Good, man. How are you?
Good to see you, man.
It's great to see you.
Thanks for coming by.
Nice to meet you, man. We're happy to be here. Who am I here with today?
Well, I think it's Tony Robbins. You're at my home.
The legend himself.
Yes, sir. Nice to meet you.
For those that don't know, how did you make your billions?
I'm fortunate enough to have 114 companies. We do over $12 billion a year across massively different industries. But it all started with understanding human psychology, because that's what drives all of business and all of life.
I have one rule for everybody that I interview. There's no holding back. We're going to give them the secrets and the blueprint on what it takes to make it in today's world. Can we make that happen?
I think we can make that happen.
Let's do it, my friend. Let's take a seat.
Have a seat. You got it.
There's a saying that I love. If you don't come from a rich family can come from you. You didn't come from a rich family. What was Tony Robbins' turning point to financial freedom? Tell us that turning point for those that don't know.
Actually, the earliest was when I was 11 years old and we had no money and no food. I had 4 different fathers. And my mom was a busy person. All my fathers, unfortunately, were not financially successful. And we had a Thanksgiving when I was 11. There was no money and no food. When I say no food, we had crackers and peanut butter, but not a Thanksgiving dinner. And there was a knock at the door. My parents were fighting and screaming at each other. And this man delivered an entire turkey me 2 whole bags of groceries for us. I thought it would make my father happy, but actually made him feel like he hadn't taken care of his family, or he made himself feel that way, and he left us. So it felt like the worst day of my life. But I took a different meaning from it. I said, number one, there's food, what a concept. But number two is like, this made me believe strangers care. Because the person who delivered the food, I still don't know who it was. They didn't want credit. They just knew we were having a tough time. My entire life, people had said, we were in a really tough environment. And it looked like everybody said, no one gives a damn about anybody else. But I had completely different evidence. And so I thought, if strangers care about my family, I'm going to care about them. And so it launched me. And I thought, someday I'll feed at least 2 families, So at 17, I fed 2, and then I got to 4, and then 8. A little small company I grew, and eventually I got to 4 million people a year. And then 12 years ago, I decided I wanted to provide 1 billion meals in the United States. And so now that's grown. My whole life has grown from this focus on how do you give more, not how do you get more. Beyond the economics, it makes you feel fully alive, like your life has real meaning. So I'm very grateful for what I thought was my worst day became my best day.
At 17 years old, you found one of your first mentors, Jim Rohn.
That's
and
right.
You found out early on that success leaves clues. And I recently interviewed Robert Herjavec, and he told me that some of the most bullshit advice that you hear all the time is that people always tell you it's not what you know, it's who you know. Because he's saying that successful people aren't necessarily going to give you the time of day if you don't have value to offer them and a reason for them to connect and pour into you. So I want to ask you for your advice to that young person out there trying to attach themselves to the right people. They may not have a lot of credibility. What would you do if you were them? Your best networking tip to the younger generation.
I'll tell you what Jim Rohn taught me, because it's the best advice I ever got. I was 17 years old, and I went to work for him because I loved what he was teaching. I thought he was a genius in business and philosophy and so forth, the strategy. And so I went to him one day and said, I've got 4 fathers. They were always broke. They were good men. Help me understand why we're broke. Like, no money at Thanksgiving. I don't understand. It doesn't seem fair that some school teacher makes, in those days, $40,000, $35,000 a year, and this billionaire hedge fund guy makes $1 billion in a year. And he said, Tony, listen to me. He said something I'll never forget. He goes, we're all equal as souls. You're right, but we're not equal in the marketplace. He said, if I asked you this, are there people making money, twice as much in money in the same time? And I said, yeah, 10 times, yeah, 50 times, 100, yeah. How? I said, I don't know. He said, it's very simple. You have to become more valuable. You have to do more for others than anybody else in the marketplace. And so in the beginning, when I went around and tried to get around people, we didn't have the social media world that we do now, where you can do some of the things you do. There was no way to get that out there. But I went to work for people. I worked as a janitor, so I'd be around them. I cleaned their desks and read all their during the night, truthfully. But then I gradually, as I kept adding value to people, and that's the whole game of life. I think the biggest challenge people are trying to figure out what they're going to get. But if you can figure out what you can give, the doors will open for you. But it has to be what people need, not what you want to give.
What's the most fascinating thing you've learned about people throughout your career?
Well, most people, rather than face their fear, they come up with a story as to why their life has not worked out. I have ADHD. It might be true, but so does Richard Branson. He's done quite well, right? Or, I was abused as a child. Well, so was I. So many people, right? Who cares, right? That's just a story. But most people, they'll come up with a wall to protect them, but the wall that protects you imprisons you. And so you have to be fearless. And fearless doesn't mean you don't have fear. It means you fear less. It means you take action anyway. Courage doesn't mean you're not afraid. Courage means you're scared, but you do it anyway.
You have another summit that's coming up.
Yes, I do. Once a year, I do a summit for 1.3 million people. And it came because of COVID. And I was like, I don't want people to be screwed over. I'm used to doing stadiums, and they started shutting down every stadium in the world.
114 companies. There's a saying that I love. Concentration builds wealth. Diversification keeps it. You weren't afraid to diversify and go into different industries. At what point do you think an entrepreneur should diversify?
That's a great question. I think the worst mistake a parent can make is they're a terrible parent, so they have a second child, right? And a third before they're really good at anything. And I see that with entrepreneurs often, because it's easy. It becomes fun to start something new. And I made that mistake early on myself. I remember one time I was going to a bunch of billionaire friends of mine that I was coaching, and then I said, I really want your help. I have all these opportunities. And they scolded the shit out of me and said, look, Tony, you got to master this thing before you go do these other 12 things. And so I think you have to have a certain level of mastery of business, economics, and so forth. Otherwise, you spread yourself too thin. But once you get to move from being an operator to an owner, like how could I run 114 companies and be on the road and deliver and have 5 kids and 5 grandkids and a wife that I adore and so forth? It's not possible unless you really know how to leverage yourself. So I know how to recruit great leaders. I know how to scale things, and I know how to be extremely strategic. And so if you can scale and you're strategic and you hire the right people, that's how you get the job done. But running around and doing it yourself and just the whole hustle culture, I believe hustle culture is a useful thing to start things out, but then you need strategy. And I think you got to be really smart about not dividing your interest into there.
How old are you now?
65, about to be 66.
Tony, if me and you died tomorrow and you had one more message to leave with the younger generation, what would that be?
I'd say be relentless. Become the creator of your own life. Don't settle for less than you can be or do or create or give, no matter how hard it gets. Obviously, it's hard. There's nobody who's got great success in their life, or great fulfillment, even more importantly, who hasn't been pushed to the edge multiple times. But it's the person that just won't give up, who keeps moving forward. And the person who's found something they care about more than themselves. I think that's the most important thing. I don't care if it's your kids or it's your family, if it's your business, it's your mission. If there's something you care about more than you, you're going to have enormous energy for the rest of your life. If it's just about you, you don't need that much to fulfill your basic needs. And so you'll eventually burn out. But if it's about something larger than yourself, man, I get up there and I go 12, 13, 14 hours at 66 years old, and people go, holy shit, I'm 24 or 25, and I can't keep up with this guy, right? But where does that energy come from? Yes, I work out like a crazy person, but that's not enough. It's psychic energy. It's emotional energy. It's the energy of knowing what you're doing matters.
You got amazing advice, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Sir, I had a question for you.
All right,
How
what's
old
good?
were you when you became a millionaire?
Oh, I think I was like 20.
How did you get rich, man? You made a lot of millions in your career.
Man, it was really getting a lot of views back in the day from YouTube, brand deals, and then selling merchandise.
Yeah. Throughout your career, what was the most amount of money that you made in a single year?
It'll probably be like this year, close to 9 figures.
So, and that's net?
Yeah, net, yeah. Always net. Always count the net. Don't count the gross, people.
You made millions off YouTube. You made millions off of boxing. And now investing, man, in the business world. What was your biggest driving factor to your success?
Yeah, I was always fascinated by Silicon Valley, and I really started investing at 18 years old. I'm into startups, and I just loved people who were on the frontiers of tech and changing the world, and getting to be around them and hearing their vision and just helping them build their companies. And so, yeah, investing is like one of my biggest hobbies. Yeah, it's going really well.
Tomorrow night, you're going to fight one of the greatest fighters of all time. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Tom Cruise. Do you not fear anything?
No, I fear a lot of things, man, but life is about fearing it and still going after it, still pushing yourself, being outside of your comfort zone and pushing yourself outside of your boundaries. That's where success lies. So yeah, I'm definitely have fear going into the ring, but I'm harnessing it to my advantage.
And what's your self-talk like in that moment?
Yeah, first and foremost, I thank God. I know He wouldn't put me into any moments that I wasn't capable of handling. And then just belief in the vision, seeing the knockout, seeing my hand raised, staying positive. If a negative thought comes up, I look at it as like a car on the freeway passing by. I acknowledge it, but I let it go. And then just having fun, bro. I literally just act like goofy and silly all the time and dance around and talk and just have fun. If you're having fun, you're in a flow state, and there's joy, and joy brings more success as well.
Something I've been dying to ask you. You've been doubted more times than just about anybody else, but you don't give a about what anybody thinks about you. Why did you not listen to those people?
Yeah, I know who I am at the end of the day. It's just me and God. You're born alone, you die alone. And a lot of these people are pushing their own limitations that they have of themselves onto you because they believe that they can't do it. They're insecure. They're the ones not chasing the dreams. But not a single successful person has ever said anything hating on me. So it's all the people, fighters, entrepreneurs that always have great things to say. It's the losers who try to drag you down to their level. And so I just focus on the positive always.
You've never met a hater that's doing better than you.
Exactly. Facts, dog. Facts, dog.
It seems like you found God recently. How did you know God was real?
It started years ago through breath work when I first experienced the presence of God, probably 4 or 5 years ago. And since then, life has completely changed, and being able to walk with faith and connect with God through meditation, breath work, and daily prayer. Find God, work hard, persevere, and practice discipline.
And don't give a what anybody else thinks.
Let's go.
Hey, you got amazing advice, man. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Congratulations, man. I'm proud of you.
Cheers.
I made my millions by following my passion, my dream.
And what was that?
Music. When people said my sucked, I worked harder to make it better.
Nobody else's thoughts ever paid your bills. You didn't worry about what people thought about you.
No, I still don't. To this day, sometimes I go through things on the media. I don't care because I got my family and they're taken care of.
And what was the most amount of money you made in a single year?
The most amount of money I made in a single year probably would be 2018 with the Migos. I think each one of us made like 20 million a year.
$20 million, man.
Yeah.
A lot of artists, a lot of entertainers go broke. What did you learn about preserving that wealth to make it work for you? What's the best financial advice you could give to anybody that's starting to make a lot of money?
You gotta have escrow account. When you make millions, you gotta have escrow accounts. And you gotta put money up where it makes money for you and you can't touch. And make smart decisions with your money. You can't be, sometimes you get the money young, it be a lot, and you just blow it, which is all of us has learned. You gotta save money, bro.
Have you ever been over in business before?
Oh yeah, music contracts, yeah.
100%.
Music. I started off as we signed 100K or something like that between 3 people. It's $33,000, right? But then we start making hits. So the more hits I made, the more questions I start asking about my contract. Well, how can I own this? How can I do this? How can I do this? They didn't want to let me own it, so I bought myself out the contract.
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Who is your God?
God himself.
You believe in Jesus? You a Christian?
I'm a Christian.
You are? How did you know God was real?
My grandmother, since I was a kid, raised in the church. I sung in the choir. It's just my family was poor, so our faith was with God since I was little.
So you didn't come from a rich family?
Hell no.
What
was your turning point, man? What made you decide to go out there and go build an empire for yourself?
My
man?
turning point was when I was 17 years old. I had dropped out of school, right? I didn't have the regular plan of like going to college and things like that, right? I had my dream, and so I pursued it. I went to open mics where it was 10 people. My first show was $250, and we had to drive 4 hours away to go there. So it cost us the same money we made, but we needed to be able to touch people and show people the talent. And music is hard because it's a million people doing it. And so we come from Gwinnett County in Atlanta, right? Which is the outskirts of Atlanta. And it was just like passion, ambition, hustle, and understanding that you might be denied a couple times.
How old are you today?
I'm 34.
If me and you died tomorrow and you could leave one last message with the younger generation, what would that be?
Build a solid team around you that's focused on the same things you're focused on. I don't care if it's art, I don't care if it's music, I don't care if it's fashion, I don't care if you're working at McDonald's, you want to become the manager. You got to work hard to get that. It don't come to nobody.
I love that, my friend. You got amazing advice, my friend. Last one, I connect with all the millionaires and billionaires today I interview. Could I get your contact?
Yeah.